What's that sound?
What's that sound? What's that sound? It's the Mobcast.
Well, hey guys, welcome back to the Mobcast. I don't know about anyone else, but currently, as we're recording this, it's the day after the Oscars. And if you don't live under a rock, well, then everyone knows that the memes are hot, and the news is out there that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, and it was quite a sight.
Slapped the shit out of Chris Rock, as Chris Rock said.
I
did for Japanese television,
and it was really the slap heard around the world. Honestly,
apparently, I think we were the only country that didn't censor it, because I guess Australia, or that did censor it. Australia, Japan, a couple countries in Europe, they all had the original broadcast, because I mean English isn't like the first language, so
it's not live, right?
Yeah.
Alter it? Oh, okay. I was wondering how they cut it out so fast.
because they're like usually it's on a tape delay, so like as long as they have 5 or 10 seconds, they can like somebody hits a button, and then it just like the broadcast goes silent, which is what happened.
Okay.
My question:
They cut back, and his face is just red and black and blue. What the hell happened?
Oh no, the video didn't cut out. It was just the audio.
Oh.
So like,
so you saw Will Smith freaking out.
So no, that's not what happened. So what happened was so Chris Rock makes the G.I. Jane joke. Will Smith, they cut to Will Smith and Jada. Will Smith is laughing at the joke.
Yeah, I saw.
And then Jada rolls her eyes, and then Chris Rock's like, "Oh, come on, that was funny." He's like, and everybody else is laughing. He's like, come on, guys." And then Will Smith sees that she's upset, gets up. Then I thought this was weird. Chris Rock calls Will Smith Richard, like, King Richard, like that was the part that he was up for. Calls him Richard, and is like confused on what's about to happen. And then Will Smith winds up, slaps the shit out of him. And so then so on the United States broadcast, they caught Chris Rock. I don't know if he got to say shit, but he was like, he's like, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me on live television. The feed was live, and they went back, and then the cameras like cut to Will Smith saying like, "Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth."
Right.
They cut back to Chris Rock. He said something. They cut back to Will Smith. But like, I couldn't hear any of it until like 5 minutes later when I saw it on Instagram.
Right. Yeah, like everyone like saw the broadcast and everyone like knew what he said, but then like minutes later, people shared the.
I didn't know what he said.
The other countries, their broadcasts, and it was hilarious. Yeah, I mean, act aside, it was pretty awful timing. I mean, I know I've seen so many different opinions on it. Whether like, I mean, it's an overreaction to say, like, "Oh, it could have killed him." I've seen some people talk about like, "Get over yourself." I'm like, come on.
He should have died.
So the most awkward part, I think, is this happens. Chris Rock, to his credit, handled it really well, I think, and totally almost shit on both of them on live TV, which I think would have been 1,000 times better. But he refrained because Jada Smith is a serial cheater on Will Smith.
Yeah, then there's that whole other layer to it. It's
I'm confused why there was so much animosity when like she cheated on him multiple times. Like, I understand you defend your woman, but like, is she really worth defending?
I think
I don't know.
I think in his eyes he has a certain standard where he's like, I don't care how I'm treated. This is my family, and that's how I'm going to protect them. And I think I don't know, just because I didn't know that she had alopecia beforehand. So after I heard that, I was like,
Chris Rock know that? Did he know that she had that?
No one knows if he knew that or not.
I would assume he didn't, because he thought the joke was funny, and I think that he wouldn't have defended himself if she was like upset and he knew that she had alopecia.
Right. I mean, but hear me out. Okay, there are some lines I suppose you don't cross, like, and I suppose with that there are some disease lines you don't cross. Like, you're not going to make fun of her if she had like cancer or something, right? But like the Oscars are a bunch of rich people roasting each other. That's what it is. It's just like, hey man, like sorry she was uncomfy. Take a joke, you know. Like I don't know.
The other layer of it too is that when Chris Rock hosted the Oscars in 2016, he took a shot at Jada Smith in his opening monologue. So she, like, this was right in the middle of like the no black people were getting nominated. So Jada Smith was like, well, screw this. Will Smith got snubbed for his role in the Concussion movie. And so she's like, I'm boycotting this. And Chris Rock is like, it's like me boycotting, I think he said Beyonce's panties. He's like, I wasn't invited, so it's like not like it's not a thing. Like no one cares. She has a fucking TV show. Like get over it. Like no one cares that you're not here.
Well,
basically.
So just bouncing off that, then, do you think do any of you guys have an opinion on if it's real or if it was staged at all? Because I've heard that too.
Honestly, Will Smith is such a good actor. I could see him acting that out. So like every time I watch it, there feels like there's something just off.
That's the thing. Well, it's like as much as real as it all looked, and I think it is real. The guy won Best Actor of the Year.
What, 5 minutes
in
later?
A room with the best actors in the world. You can't tell me that they can't all act surprised.
Not to mention,
well, they wouldn't have known it was happening.
Well, I mean,
Oscar viewership has been going down consistently for the last couple of years. So let's hype this up on Twitter. And if you look at Chris Rock, he makes no effort to defend himself. I mean, look, Will Smith was pretty fast at the slap. Yes, it was a shock to all, but like, I think he'd have time to at least get an arm up or at least attempt. He had his arms behind his back. He's leaning forward. His face is really tense. Like it looked like to me he was almost expecting it. Now that is based on absolutely nothing, but
I get that.
That's my opinion.
Then I'm also like, can the Oscars and that community, because you know the people who are behind it, like, can they actually make something up that's funny? That is that funny? I don't know. But to your credit, I mean, there's going to be speculation on that.
Funny. I don't think they were worried. So if it was staged, they weren't worried about it being funny. They were doing it for views and to get people to talk about it.
Yeah, it sure did blow up. I mean, gosh, you can scroll on any sort of platform and not see a meme about it or news about it.
So
or
they would have had to have paid both of them and probably Will Smith more because like it's bad. It's worse for his image.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't know why Will Smith would do something like that with all the drama that's already going on with him and his wife. I feel like that wouldn't be a good move. If it was like a stunt.
I agree.
Love makes you do weird things.
So. It is true, and that's why I think, like, I personally, I'm for some reason I'm siding with Will Smith. But that hit is just so, like, there was so much recoil with Chris's head. It looked like one of those hits that they teach you how to do.
Oh, that's a good point.
In acting, where it's like
I mean, who doesn't like Will Smith, you know? So he never does anything wrong.
I definitely think he made contact with Chris's face because you hear it. Like, you hear it on Chris's mic. So even if it was staged, I think that he slapped the shit out of him. He might have, like, pulled with it to make it not as bad. But, I mean, unless they were... I mean, I guess if it was staged, they could have had that sound ready to go and whatever. But
I mean, either Chris can... I was going to say, either Chris can really take a hit or... he was expecting it because it was a good hit. I mean, it was very animated and it was very solid contact.
I was gonna say that, like, okay, the hit, whether it is real or not, at the end with the exchange of words, you know. I you know, again, it's hard to tell because they're.
He seemed passionate. Actors, yeah, that's a good point.
He seemed very like, and then the audience was so crowded. So unless that, literally, only the people running the Oscars and then Chris and Will Smith were the only two people in on it at that very moment because the whole room was like silent. It was an awkward exchange.
I love seeing everyone's reactions. The Rock was in the back like. With his eyebrows.
If it was staged, nobody would have known except the two of them and maybe her and then some like higher ups. They would have said, "This is what's happening. This is how we're going to do it."
And then they got all the live reactions.
Yeah, exactly. They would have never. People wouldn't have known.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall at the after party.
No kidding.
Well, I mean, it didn't
Oh my
seem
God.
like Will was having any issues at the after party. I saw videos of him
He posted
dancing
something on
and
Instagram too.
That's true.
yeah.
That was before. That was before.
Well, the caption on it said, "We woke up dressed for chaos."
Yeah, no, that was
did-
before. He
That was
posted that
before, actually. Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't
Deep
help well with
state.
the fake.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to change the subject here, but to another topic that is also controversial and with high stakes, but that's everyone's favorite sport, mostly in the entire country, is the NFL. And I know we all love our football here. We all love college, NFL, all sorts of sports, really. But specifically football, there's been a lot of different news going on in our separate teams, and we just kind of want to talk about, our individual, NFL teams and what we think's going on and where we think we're headed for this upcoming season. So, who wants to take that one? You Clevelanders?
No. Let's go in reverse odds of winning the Super Bowl next year. So
That's got to be us.
Start with Nathan, and then
That's gotta be
Michael, and then we can sort it out between the three of us. So
Hey,
Nathan,
I like
you
that.
start.
Okay, so speaking on that, so yeah, I'm Nathan here, and really, I was born in Pittsburgh, obviously, but I grew up. My parents and family are from North Carolina, so pretty much since I was a kid, I really loved the Carolina Panthers. Full of disappointment and sadness most of my life, but this year is the same. Is my feeling. No, I'm actually I really like our GM. I really like what we got going around with the different pieces, our really kind of offensive grouping, and also our really young defensive stars like Chan and some Burns and Jackson and some couple other dudes. But, it's just like every other, NFL team and what they're looking for. The most important piece is that quarterback. And right now we got Sammy D. So he is what he is. He's a strong 7-10 is my guess right now. If I had to take a guess, I expect we take a quarterback this draft at number, I think we're 6th. If you had to ask me who I'd prefer, I'd probably want to take Malik Willis. A lot of upside, freak of an athlete, and I'd actually love the idea because I've seen this idea thrown around. We trade Sam, get rid of him, whatever. Bring in Cam again, and then he's like the perfect model for Willis for a year, and then for Willis to maybe get polished or whatever. But yeah, there was that whole Deshaun Watson thing, and I'm sure we'll get into that because we have plenty of Cleveland Browns fans on here. I was kind of on the fence of how I felt if we ever got him. Obviously the talent's there, but so is the controversy and moral appearance. So, was saying that I'm going to go with the strong 7-10 this year in the NFC South with the Carolina Panthers. I thought this was the year. Because Mr. Tom Brady left, and I'm like, yes, we got a chance. The Saints don't have a quarterback. Matt Ryan's old, and the Falcons always suck and disappoint you. Well, then TB came back, and there went my dreams. So that's where I am now. But I don't know, Michael. How do you feel? I mean,
Real quick,
yeah.
Nathan, how do you feel about McCaffrey? What's your thoughts on his health and availability at this point?
He's put the entire franchise on his back and knees for the last 2-3 years. So I'm really happy that I think they're going to more want to use him as a more catching back rather than running all the time, because I don't think it's arguable that he's a top 5 talent at that position when he's healthy. I can't argue the availability, but let's be real. I mean, he wasn't going to make a difference the last 2 years with our quarterback play and our coaching. So I love him. I'm a huge supporter of him, and I hope we're able to kind of utilize his talents here. Or they could want to trade him too. So,
gotcha. Yeah, I was just curious. All right, on to Michael and Schittsburg.
He knows about controversy in quarterbacks.
Controversy. Ben Roethlisberger is a Hall of Famer who only allegedly did certain things and was never convicted.
Twice, allegedly twice.
Matt,
said
we don't have room.
Hey, what
We
did
don't have
OJ
room
do?
to say
Yeah,
twice.
you cannot make any
OJ
jokes
wrote a
about that
book.
anymore.
OJ wrote a book. I didn't
Oh, no.
murder her, but if I did, here's exactly how I would have done it.
No, we'll get to our new quarterback. We'll get there. Don't worry.
Baker doing. All right. Well, full
He's not
disclaimer.
our quarterback.
Full disclaimer. Out of all of the mob members here, I am not a sports ball guy in the slightest. But I'm gonna do my best. So,
You're a Steelers guy. I mean, you
without
like
further
watching them.
ado, I do like watching the Steelers. Been to a few games. I know where Ben Roethlisberger lives. His house is pretty cool.
That's not creepy at all.
Don't go there
Well-
wearing a short dress.
He lives in my town, kind of. Not really. It's like 10-minute drive. But anyway, yeah, let's go Steelers. Whole life, Steel City. Grandpa worked at the steel mills in Pittsburgh. You know, lifeblood of our wonderful, beautiful city, which is the most livable. I don't know what, 2 or 3 years in a row, and our rivers also don't catch on fire like certain ones do. Well, we're getting there. Okay, so did our franchise, call back to the earlier topic, try to hide certain statistics about what would later become concussions? Star actor being Will Smith, yes. Does that mean we're a bad football team? No. Do we have 6 Super Bowl titles? Absolutely. Have I met Franco Harris on an airplane? Yes. I don't really know what to say. I mean, we did lose Ben. I think he retired gracefully. He's probably at his house drinking a case of Busch Light every single day. Which,
It was
you know
a year
what?
or
Can't
two
blame the
too
guy.
late, but yeah,
Yeah,
it was time.
but it was. His arm was going. He kind of looks like a refrigerator. I'm not gonna lie. He's
Moves
not
like
as-
one too.
Not as
Yeah.
nimble. He's a big dude. That's for sure.
That
Not
is,
as nimble, I think, as some of the younger guys. And as the game progresses into the modern era, it should be. But I don't know numbers or anything. Every year I say Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. We do have the worst NFL mascot in the world.
I was gonna ask about
You
him.
seem to like him so much.
Michael, can you what is
Steely
it?
McBeam.
There it is.
Steely McBeam is dead, soulless eyes of a steel worker who hasn't seen his family since 1986 when all the steel mills shut down.
And gets a cough for the rest of his life.
God, I don't know what marketing guy got murdered in a back office after coming up with that one. This is gonna work, guys, I swear.
Steely McBeam. That's the one.
The kids will love it. Like a big, grizzly old man with a big beam. Ooh, that not in that way. Anyway,
That's what she said. Yeah, that's.
we can censor this, right? Anyway, I don't know. I did hear something about how Mason Rudolph, who was our backup quarterback of last season, I watched an
that guy.
interview with him. He real cocky, it seemed to me. I don't know the guy, obviously, and I don't know how he plays. He just didn't look very good to me. But he was real cocky about it too. He was saying like, "I'm going to step up and take Ben's place," so to speak. But I heard that he lost that spot, and the same day his girlfriend left him for a different NFL player. So
Oof. Yeah, he's not that guy. He's not that guy.
He's a
So enter our hometown hero, Mitch Trubisky. Where do you see him going, leading your team?
I don't even know who the fuck that is. Mitch Trubisky, what is he from Poland? He's just coming over from Poland. He's
No,
like, I'm
he's-
gonna eat
He's from
pierogies
about
and-
he's from about half hour away from me.
Honestly, he's an
gonna
upgrade
sabotage
over
our
Mason. He's an upgrade over Mason.
Okay.
He's an upgrade over last 2-3 years of Ben. He can move. He's athletic. Not a big arm. A lot of guys like him in the league, apparently. He'll win you some ball games. Yeah.
He can be developed. I
Yeah,
think.
and
I
you
think
signed
that
him for
could be
2 years. He'll probably be there. He's a bridge guy, So that's what you can kind of
we
expect.
do like bridges in Pittsburgh, that's for sure.
That is
We like
true.
our bridges. They collapse
Bridge City,
sometimes,
man.
but
Yeah, that
Cool.
NFC,
Well,
that
yeah.
AFC North is packed. So it should be
So, Michael,
interesting for you guys.
In a 17-game season, just rough estimate, where do you see your team ending up?
17-0, bitch. Let's go. Pittsburgh is going to the Super Bowl every single year. It doesn't happen most years.
No, they're not.
No, I don't. Maybe when I have kids and my kids are in their 30s, we'll see it again. But we went through after that we won the 4 and 5 years. It was like 20 some dry spell, and then we started winning again.
I mean, the last decade has been just wasted talent, really.
What's your record going to be, Michael?
Yeah,
okay,
17 games.
16-1. 16-1. I'll give you that. We'll lose to a terrible team. We'll lose to the Bills.
16-1. I mean, that's going to win the AFC North, but I don't think our friends over in Cleveland are going to agree with you there.
Well, Cleveland sucks, man. So you guys go now. Explain to us why you think your team, who has never won a Super Bowl in the whatever, fuck all your stupid before the NFL.
The Super Bowl.
Before the NFL,
the Super Bowl
NFL
era.
championships.
So they were still wearing the leather helmets, and the dudes were smoking on the field, and we got to back a truck up, and that's where
Michael,
kids are going to watch from the sidelines. And
it's the stupidest thing ever. They didn't even call it the Super Bowl until the third Super Bowl.
Well, it's the Super Bowl era, and you don't have any. So take us to your team.
What have you done for me lately?
I've been to 2. Lost 2.
Fair enough. Okay, well, first of all, I'll say the thing about Deshaun Watson to start. So
Be careful here.
I was going to.
Tread lightly.
So
Yeah.
my opinion on the situation is, regardless of what he did or did not do, he's a hell of a quarterback, and he's going to be, because of that, he's going to be playing in the NFL someplace. So might as well have him be here and win my team football games. I wish that there was a better option. There wasn't, and our management went out and got Deshaun Watson. I'm still going to be rooting for the Browns on Sundays. His character is questionable. I definitely,
good.
yeah, exactly, pretty much. I mean, it's like the same thing with Kareem Hunt. And if you want to go over to baseball, like Aroldis Chapman, that man shot 115 rounds into a car with his girlfriend at the time in it, and he's still playing. He's served a short suspension. I mean, if you have ungodly talent, it doesn't matter what the hell you do outside of being Aaron Hernandez and literally murdering people. You're going to be on the field when the season starts. So basically,
what about
our team is, we're trying to win football games. So they went out and got him. What can you do?
2 things.
I also, for the record, I think it is fishy, and I thought this over a year ago when it all came out. I thought that it was fishy that a black quarterback said something to the effect of, this organization is a dumpster fire, and I want out. And those were the reports, and then 2 weeks later, all these women just came out and he sexually assaulted me. I'm not saying that what they're saying is fake. The one issue with that take that I just said is there are so many women. If it was 3 or 4, it would be a lot more believable. But that's not the case. There are a lot of women, and they should all be taken seriously. It's a really rough situation. But again, he's good at football, and he's playing for my team, and I'm not going to be upset when he throws a touchdown on Sunday.
So 2 things before my other 2 fans hop in here. That's the nature of the NFL, unfortunately, to an extent. Some typically potentially bad people that are very talented with a certain sport do get multiple chances despite potentially doing something pretty bad. And the Mobcast does not condone any sort of criminal act at all, especially against women. But Brad, Jordan, how do you guys feel about your current situation?
I wouldn't be mad with suspension, but I could see him getting a 3 or 4 game suspension. I just looked up the schedule.
Oh, he'll get suspended. Yeah.
God, I hope not. He shouldn't. He sat out an entire year.
He will.
We play Washington, Atlanta, Baltimore, and then Carolina, and I think all 4 of those outside of Atlanta, I'd like to win. I think we're going to win at Atlanta.
Jordan, those games, that's just the schedule.
Oh, yeah, they haven't released the actual dates.
Yeah, the order hasn't come out yet, so we don't know who we're playing at the beginning of the year.
Okay. Well, either way,
That would be a good 4-game stretch, though.
I want to beat Nate, and if we obviously in conference games that we need to win.
All right, Jacoby Brissett.
I think they both kind of hit the nail on the head. I agree with Matt entirely. I'm a huge fan of the football move. Not so much off the field. I was a bit of a Baker stan off the field, especially just his and on the field, but his mentality and how he kind of carried himself with a chip on his shoulder. He was an underdog, and I love that about him. I still like that mentality, having that in Cleveland. So Deshaun Watson, he's got to kind of make a new name for himself and kind of start over. So it's kind of the same thing, but I don't know. I'm excited from a football standpoint, but
who was it for the Browns?
Right. 22 women is a lot.
That's a lot of women. Who was it for the Browns who threw his helmet 2 years ago? I can't remember who it was.
Oh, Myles Garrett.
Miles.
Garrett. I hope Watson does some kind of like Myles Garrett does. Like when he gets a chance to come back, he's kind of just stand up. I'm here to do my work, business type guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you guys know me. I mean, I'm a loose fan of Clemson, so I loved watching him play, and I've been a fan of him since he's gotten in the league. Obviously, just with the recent allegations, not the biggest fan. But I will say, Brad, I agree with you. I mean, seeing Baker in the city of Cleveland and you guys, and I feel like he was kind of like pretty Cleveland-esque to a point. Like, real Cleveland's like Cleveland or die, whatever your motto is. But
Short and scrappy, yeah.
Yeah. So it was a weird, it was a tough way to go out for him. I hope he gets a solid chance elsewhere, but that's a whole nother story. But
yeah.
My dog is making his first appearance on the podcast. Everybody say hi to Cody.
He's adorable.
Hello.
Cody.
He's so funny.
I think from a record standpoint,
what do
I
you
can
think?
see Deshaun probably getting a 4-game suspension. So
I'm guessing 4 to 8 is my guess.
What's that?
I'm guessing 4 to 8.
Oh, okay.
But
I think 2 to 4, just
Wow.
because he sat out last year.
With
I think
the
that's gonna
4-game
play into it.
suspension, I think
Sorry,
we'll
Brad.
probably end up. No, you're good. We'll probably end up somewhere between 12 and 13 wins.
wow.
I'm gonna be optimistic there. I think Jacoby gets us 1 or 2 during the suspension, and then Deshaun balls out.
That's a good point. No disrespect to Jacoby. He's a grown up, and he can
Absolutely.
handle a team, no doubt. I mean that's why he's still in the league and still getting jobs. I will say you are getting the NFC South, so you probably got 3 wins right there. Probably not against Tommy, but maybe. I'd like to see Brady versus Watson. That could be a fun show.
That's in Cleveland. So
Ooh,
if that makes a difference to you.
Love that.
that should be a fun game.
I would say, I think, depending, again, on how Deshaun Watson plays, if I'm going to say a 4-game suspension, then probably 10-7 or 11-6. If it's more like 2 games, like I think it's going to be, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised. Nathan is saying, like, he thinks it's going to be 4 to 8. I just think because realistically, there's not going to be any, like, legal action. It's all going to be civil suits. I think they're not going to have a lot to go on, and I think, 4 games is kind of pushing it for, like, what they would have. Clearly, if something with this new grand jury happens, which I don't think it's going to, then you're looking at more games. But realistically, if he can play the majority of the division games, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape.
And that's a tough division. So, I mean, you're going to need all the wins. I think Lamar's coming back strong.
Ravens are going to be good next season.
Joe Burrow was just in the Super Bowl. So
Dude, he might hold out.
Lamar?
He might not. He might not be playing.
He'll play.
No way. He's
Okay. So you're telling me that a mobile quarterback just got a fully guaranteed $230 million contract, and he's going to play without any guaranteed money coming in?
that kid loves
I
the
think
ball.
Lamar's a baller.
He loves the ball.
I know he is.
He
Bro,
does.
I'm saying is there's a chance he sits out like the first 4 games or something. He's not going to be screwing around with this, and the Ravens are going to have to pay him.
He represents himself, so on the negotiation side, he like doesn't have an agent, so I'm sure that's tough, for when he's practicing, working out, for them to try to work out a long-term deal, which they absolutely should get done, because he deserves it, no doubt.
If I was a GM, I would probably. I mean, I don't want to say trade him, but I feel like he's one cut away from busting his knee, and they're nothing without him. I mean, they lost what was it 5 or 6? They lost 5 or 6 games down the stretch.
Well,
him.
they had like a massive. They have a massive COVID outbreak. Like they lost like half their team.
They looked like shit. Dude. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just not.
They were playing with half backups. And they had, their backup quarterback, he balled.
He didn't play very well.
I mean, they were
the second and third strings.
They've been a stable franchise for years.
I'm not saying they're going to be well under 500. I'm just saying that I would not be surprised if you look up and Lamar Jackson got hurt for a stretch in the middle of the year and they finish 9-8. That's all.
Okay, well, so then
I also think he can hold out. That's all.
So then, give me your top team and the bottom team in that division. Who's winning it? Who's in last? Who do you think? That's tough. I'm going to go with Cincinnati.
Win it.
Oh,
Steelers. And that's not me being biased.
You say this every year. You made it to the playoffs the first time in 20 years, and you beat the Steelers at home. Oh God.
You guys.
Okay.
You guys have been sitting comfortable with your same old man at quarterback. You guys have something completely new. There's going to be a learning curve. You guys aren't going to start off super hot.
I don't know.
Time to hurt, son.
I could see Pittsburgh winning 10 games this year.
You think they're going to win 10 games?
With Mitch?
Wow.
Just saying, I wouldn't be shocked. But
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked either, but I'm not going to predict them to win.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
games.
They could. Because they have the weapons, and the defense is obviously
wouldn't be surprised at all.
Defense is top tier.
There are Browns fans, but this is really Steeler Nation, as you know. So like, you can go to just the middle of absolutely nowhere in any state, and there's going to be a Steelers fans only parking sign. Everyone has seen them.
He's not wrong about that. That is.
There's a Steelers bar.
There's one in Europe,
City, Maryland.
Like, I remember my wife visited Europe like years ago in high school, and there was like some Steelers bar over there. I'm like, are you kidding me? Get over yourselves.
Packer bars are the best.
I went to Cuba. I went to Cuba, and I guess this isn't about the Steelers, but I went to Cuba, and I said, I'm from Pittsburgh, and the guy said, McCutcheon, Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm like, holy shit, this guy gets it.
I love him so much.
They do love baseball down in Cuba, though, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'll say, if I had to put it right now, I'd probably say Cincy wins it, and I'm going with, like I said, Deshaun could be out many games, so it's either Cleveland or Pittsburgh for me. I'll say Pittsburgh for now. It's probably ending up in last place. It'll be close. It's not. They're not going to have like 5 wins. It could be close. So it'll be a tight division, as it has been the last few years. So
it's weird to say that. It's weird to say that I'm like, I'd be okay with the Bengals coming in first because they're an in-division rival, but at the same time, like,
Big Joe.
Joe Burrow is so likable and he's such a good player.
It's hard not to root for him.
It's like, you can't root against him unless it's your team playing against him.
He has got a humongous set of testicles, that's for sure.
That was my kind of argument in the Super Bowl. I won't go too far off here, but like, I liked both quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. With the Rams and the Bengals, I'm like, I like both of these guys. Like, I'd be okay with either team winning this. But, well, I think we should transition here to another sort of sports. Still very much a sport, but more video games, esports as you call it. And just recently, so everyone knows FORTNITE. Fortnite!
I'm about to go download that right now so I can try it. I need to.
Not all of us are avid FORTNITE gamers, but obviously we all were in college when it came out and everything. We've been through all the hype, and it still is a massive game. And just recently, in the last week, I believe, they have implemented a new update, and they have removed building temporarily. And my question is, I mean, do you guys see this as a dub or an L for
I would
Fortnite?
like to see this. I would like to see the statistics of how many like people who normally play are still playing right now, and how many accounts were just made for like people coming back to the game.
I know it's brought like a lot of people back, especially different streamers, because I've just seen a lot of people have voiced kind of their pretty positive thoughts about it. But Brad, like, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, so I've kind of stuck around through it all.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've never been like insanely good, but
Yeah, you're pretty good.
I never didn't enjoy it. So I got frustrated at times when the learning curve with the building was just so massive.
Yeah.
But yeah, like to play it now, like these last few days without the building, it's definitely fits more to my strong suits. Playing COD since I was really
Right.
little, and Halo, and like that's where I really prospered. So it is a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean it'll be interesting to see when the building comes back, if it stays as popular as it has been the last few days, or if it starts to dwindle, and if they decide to keep it in the game as like a optional game mode. So
I think that would be a really good idea for them, because I mean, like Jordan said, they're going to see all of this data from the game, you know, number of players, increase, decrease, whatever. And they'll see me, because I uninstalled the game like years ago. I played it with friends in college, right? But it just wasn't for me. I loved at the time Apex a little more. But just to do a little research, I decided to re-download it and play a few games. And I really like the different mechanics that they put in, like with the new running, and then also like the climbing / jumping, whatever. And I agree with you, Brad. Like, it was, well, it's different for you because you've been ongoing playing, but like it was kind of like a nice little refresher to come and not like have like a tower hotel built right in front of me and, you know,
Right.
instantly die or whatever. Instead, it was like,
yeah.
I had a fun time, and there were multiple times due to my just so much of playing of Apex that I jumped off a building, and you know there's fall damage in Fortnite, so I've killed myself multiple times. But I think it's a pretty cool thing. It was a really good idea for them to remove it, and I agree that I think it should kind of be kept as a part-time or, you know, limited time mode. Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
That's what I don't play Fortnite anymore. College was the time.
That
Got
one
some
dub.
great clips.
Michael, you would grind in
man.
between classes.
Oh man, yeah.
Find him in my room.
Just gaming hard. I'm so sweaty. Oh my god. I'm not a gamer either, to be honest. I'm bored. I go outside a lot. I stare at the wall a lot. But anyway, Fortnite to me, is it a toxic environment full of 12-year-olds that have never seen the light of day? Probably. Is it also a fun game? Definitely. I'm not adding anybody here, I promise. But I like it because it doesn't take itself too seriously. So like, the new COD has fucking tanks with lasers, and you have to kill the space Hitler, and you know, all this super serious and all this stupid shit. I don't know. I'm not shitting on COD either, because COD's a great game as well. Well,
Yeah,
World at War
not
was,
all of them,
and Black
but-
Ops 1 was. But what I'm saying is, I mean, you're flying around as like Iron Man, and then Thanos comes in and ass blasts you with a gauntlet. Like, it's funny, it's stupid, it's what video games are supposed to be. So I like that they kind of take it from every different angle. I mean, fucking Travis Scott shows up. I don't like. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. But it's honestly, I vibe with that. Just the absurdity of the whole thing.
That's a really good point, because I will say one of the coolest things they've ever done, like in the realm of live service gaming, and obviously that has become a booming thing because, well, one, it makes tons of money, but also it's a lot of fun because you get to play with friends and whatnot, are the live events that Fortnite has done, like whether it be concerts or like these crazy like new season events or, you know, cinematic. It's really cool because I think that's a really cool in-depth experience for the player. But yeah, I mean, Matt or Jordan, have you guys like
I
played
haven't
it recently
played since like Christmas of 2019. I want to say is
my
around the
Lanta.
time that I stopped playing. That sounds about right to me because Christmas of 2020 would have been the pandemic. Maybe that's when I did stop.
I think you played during the pandemic, Matt.
Yeah, you're right. So it was probably Christmas of 2020 then. Is around the time that I stopped. Yeah, I mean, I know the building was kind of annoying to me. I do two things. One, I have to pee, so I'm gonna like go there and do that really quick. But Brad, I want you to tell the story of the time that you played in a squad match with some random, and they had to have been under 10 years old. I wasn't there when you did this. I just heard the story, but I remember it was a great story. So you won they died early on and you clutched it, and like they hadn't ever had a win, or something like that. It was like, and they went absolutely berserk when you won.
That sounds wholesome.
I think it was Doom. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. I completely forgot about it until you brought it up. But yeah, it was honestly like
Fortnite stories
awesome.
ever.
It was so funny. Like I for whatever reason just decided I'm gonna play duo fills, and I'm gonna just play with some random kid. So I hop on, and there's this kid. He can't be older than 8 probably, and he was talking to me. He's like, "You sound kind of familiar." He's like, "Are you a streamer?" I'm like, "Yeah." No. I'm like, I mean, like,
I'm ninja.
Occasionally, but most of the time I have like 2 viewers, and one of them's my phone. So,
nice.
But I didn't tell him that. I was like, no. So we're playing, and he's like, I've never had a win before. I'm like, don't worry, buddy. Like, I'll get you one. I'm like, we got this.
That's awesome.
So we're going, and we get run up on, and he gets absolutely smoked. And for some reason, I catch them both off guard, and we're going. He's like, there's only a certain amount left. He's like, you got it. I believe in you. Like, he was hyping me up, and so I'm just feeding into it. I'm getting even more hype, and then get to the very end, and I can't even hear the game because it's a 1v1, and this little kid is just screaming in my ears, just like get him, freaking out, and he started crying as I won. He's like, I'm so excited. He's like, thank you so much for my first win and everything. And
that is so wholesome.
That was honestly, it was pretty cool. But
that's why it's such an awesome story, is because it's funny because he was so young, and it was like wholesome because he was so excited.
That's a real feel good story. I love that.
Yeah. He was not a toxic little kid.
That's fantastic.
Just a dude trying to get a dub.
Well, and didn't he die like super, super early? Like he was a total potato.
Yeah, he was pretty bad. But I don't quite remember when. That was probably a couple of years ago. But
I resonate with the potato gamers of the world out there.
Hey, Michael, you still have one of the best feats I've ever seen playing that game. You killed somebody with a hand cannon from like way too far away.
I know.
Okay,
well, see, for me, it's weird. There's a certain level where, college Saturday night, come back at 3 a.m., and this is the same with Nazi zombies as well. And Nathan knows.
I was just about to tell this story. Yeah, go ahead.
So, alcohol has a crazy effect on me when we play video games. The more I drink, the better I get at video games. What we made it around
coordinated.
So
somehow, I mean,
yeah. Let me set the stage for you here. It was freshman year of college. Michael and I were roommates, and I didn't go out much. Well, I never went out actually, besides with friends, like a few times, once every millennia. So I'd stay usually in night in my room playing video games most of the time. And so one night it was late. I'm gaming late. It's like 2, 3 a.m. This guy comes back hammered. from drinking out, and he comes in and he's like, "You playing zombies?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. You want in on this?" He's like, "Let's do it, yeah, let's do it, man." And then, so he grabs the controller and we hop in. I believe we're playing on Kino, and we get to like around like late high 20s, like maybe even low 30s. I don't remember for sure, but this dude was balling out. Like he was zoned in. He was killing anything that moved. He was an absolute beast on the sticks, and
I'm bad at
like he said,
I am
drinking.
God awful at video games in
No.
every degree.
No, you're not. But it's one of my favorite stories ever because you came
It
in,
was a good time.
hopped on, and we just dominated for like anybody who's played Nazi Zombies. You get that high of rounds. That's like, oh gosh, like an hour and a half, 2 hours it can get up to. And it was an absolute blast.
Good
And
times.
it was really good times. And I know. So do you guys, besides Fortnite, obviously there's tons. I know I don't want to dive too deep into it because I know none of us are like super major gamers. But does anyone have like any favorite competitive or like any other sort of game that they like to play besides Fortnite? Like for example, I love Apex, Rocket League, CS:GO. Any tactical shooter, any stuff like that.
But you know we all play Rocket League.
Oh, I know.
Well, at least us three, me, you, Brad. I just got to Division 3 Champ 1 last night, so I got really close to Champ 2.
Yeah, I can't relate, but that's awesome.
Enthused.
Is that good?
That's good.
Brad, I'm
Yeah.
assuming
Yeah,
it's really
that's
good.
good.
Okay.
That's like, what, 3 or 4 divisions under the highest you can go?
Damn.
It's very good.
19th prestige.
It's a rank I will never achieve.
That's
because
not true at all.
I refuse. Rocket League's a game that it's just like any other online platform. It's toxic. It's enraging. It's a lot of fun. So whenever we play together, it's a blast. But we're probably in that solid range of above average, just above it, probably for the rest of our lives. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's still fun.
It's a blast.
Mhm.
It's a lot of fun.
I still suck at threes.
See that? Yeah, yeah. No, you don't. We do as a unit. We are very good. What are we, diamond? I mean, that's solid. That's real solid. We'll never go above it, but
Yes, we will.
no, we won't.
There's gonna be a month where
Our
we
peak was
randomly
winning
just play
that
like every other
tournament.
day. Yeah,
That was the peak. That was probably the greatest moment in my Rocket League
How long does it take to like play in a tournament? Is that like an all day thing?
It's
Oh,
it's
no.
like 2 hours or something like that. It's,
Depends
it's
how
not
far
2
you
hours. It's
go.
probably like hour and a half.
If you make it
It's
to
long
the end,
time.
it can take a while. But
You have to get through the first 3 or 4 rounds, I think, before you get to rounds of like best of 3.
best of 3. Yeah.
And then you do that for the semis and the championship, I think.
Ooh.
So that's what can really take a long time.
Time gets up
But,
there. Yeah.
Lots
Yeah,
of
it's
semi
that's
losses.
sweaty.
That's a good term to describe it. Once you get to those semis, you are
You are
starts kicking in.
There,
Like, well, I'm in it now.
Way, like that's like where like some of the adrenaline actually starts to kick in. Like if you're gonna experience any adrenaline in video games, like it was like that first Fortnite win ever, and like end of tournaments in Rocket League.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Dude, you would clutch some Fortnite wins. I've been on with Brad more than once, and he has pulled some absolute shit out of his ass, killed some people, squad wipe people to end games, and then all you hear is, "Oh my god, I finished with 19 kills, and my hand is literally
I don't know
shaking."
about that, but-
I've heard that on more than one occasion. Maybe not 19 kills, but like he'll be like, I finished with 16 kills, and like, oh, I clutched that, my hand shaking. I got that.
Oh, I'm in the same way, man. Like after a real tense moment, like game-ending kill, or like a series of like final 5 minutes or something like that. You're like, whew, that was intense.
There was one. It comes up on my Snapchat memories. I won a game with 1 HP point. It's the closest call that I've ever had.
That's epic.
There is one game we're all forgetting.
obviously.
I know what it is, and I was gonna
No
ask
game has
Michael if
ever
he had
been-
any before, but
Well, real quick, CS:GO is pretty great.
It is.
I played this
Yeah.
game called Elite Dangerous.
Okay, I'm gonna go pee really quick.
That game is extremely hard for no reason.
Everyone shit on Matt. But yeah, Elite Dangerous is
Bald.
very hard and stupid.
No.
What else? GTA 5, Nathan and I have glitched the fuck
Well,
out
I
of
mean,
that
that's
game
just,
before.
that's a given. That's an iconic game
I mean,
for the last, how long has it been out? 50 years, feels like.
yeah.
But yeah, GTA Online is a blast, especially with friends.
Good
And
times.
we just have seems to be a hitman on us for 2 hours straight, just chasing
a
us
gold
for
armored
our
car.
$100 pockets. We're poor in that game. Just leave us alone.
Well, one time we glitched it out so hard though, like I've never seen this before. Not that I play a lot, but we were in there and all of a sudden we got like locked in a cage in the middle of an intersection.
It was weird,
then
man.
we-
Yeah.
Clipped through the cage and all of a sudden we were untouchable. We were just, blowing up cars and the cops didn't come. So we blew up some more cars and then we were lighting stuff on fire, doing hood rat shit with
It was like
friends,
this.
but-
We did that for like 45 minutes when, like Michael said, it just seemed like the game glitched on us, and like people just kept coming in the intersection, and we just kept lighting them up, and no cops ever came. So we were just chilling, and it was almost at the moment we weren't like. There was a point like we just weren't talking. We were just like, it's like, dude, typical
Yeah, but-
GTA things, just blasting away at people.
Didn't we use like some explosive bullets too or something? I forget, but we were like
the
nuking
best.
cars. Like it was good times. But without further ado, now that we're all back, Jordan, I believe you had the game of games of mind, body, and soul.
You want to smash? Yes, the game I was talking about was Smash Bros. We all say our favorite character.
There it
and
is.
Why we love playing that game.
Well, I mean, how about we start with the pink fuck up top? I mean, there's no other way to start it off than that.
Fuck.
I am a bald fuck in real life, and in the game, I play with
Big
a
one.
bald pink fuck.
We were talking about
So,
Kirby.
With eyes.
I play as Kirby. His special powers are he absorbs people and cultivates their mass and takes their power. My favorite to do that to is Michael, and because the absorb power is so stupid. And
Kirby is just beyond OP. The thing is indestructible and it can fly. Like, you can't do anything.
Oh,
when
you
he's
can't
in-
knock him out. Yeah,
Ray.
he's
It has a great up B and a great down B. All that stuff.
just a pink
yeah, I
bubble.
mean it's pretty much a cheat code. I wasn't very good at the game when we started, so it was kind of okay. And then as I got better with him, and then I just kind of refused to stop using him because it's just too much fun.
So context with like every other probably group of college friends like that loved video games. Smash was like one of our favorite games to play, all as a group. It was a big deal. We took it very seriously at times.
Enormous deal.
And so
Yeah,
that's pretty much what
chalkboard.
we did for 4 years. Yeah, we had a chalkboard for wins.
I said words that should not be said in the company of our own room. I'd like to formally apologize for that. Not that anybody heard
Yeah,
us,
I mean,
but
we
Oh, no,
got
constantly
we got
left the windows
violent.
open. People heard us.
We got violent for sure. We were passionate, and
There's aggression. It
it
happened.
was there was very
Fierce.
hurt aggression.
That's
I
when
had
people
to
steal
take
your
my shirt
character.
off pretty much every time.
Michael was
so sweaty.
constantly sweating, just the entire
Michael,
match.
So you break a
spike
sweat if
controllers.
you're
Yes,
The doctor
yeah.
said it was a thyroid problem. I told him to shut his goddamn mouth.
Michael. If you get a
I'm
bowl of
from
rice
Alliance,
that's
Ohio right now.
too hot, you will start sweating.
You're right, because it's so good. Oh,
Answer it.
our
Answer
alma
it.
mater.
Michael,
Hello?
Yes, sir.
This is Thomas Sperling.
we'll just cut this.
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Didn't graduate. Fuck you.
They're just asking for money.
Why are we answering this now?
It's Mount Union. No way. Really?
I'm sorry. I'm actually doing a podcast right now and I can't talk.
Yo, hype the podcast. Tell them what it is.
Yeah, tell them Mobcast.
Tell them.
All right, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
They want your money?
Yeah, they wanted my money.
There it is.
I hope I'm next.
Update my
Honestly-
contact information.
Well, keep. Maybe we can keep that in. I don't know.
We'll see.
what it looks like.
So anyway, Michael, who is your who is your Smash character?
The very best of all time, Pikachu. Frankly, I started with
Having
him
the best
because
Pokemon.
it's just the best character.
That's a
ever.
debate
He's
for another day.
You and your 2D pan fry guy. Fuck that guy.
You're just Max. I can
um,
play any character.
Yeah, I know.
Pikachu.
And we'll get to that. But so I was a avid smasher in high school senior year, back when you're done with all your actual work and it's a public school, so it's not like you're learning anything. So woodshop class, we're all sitting there. There's a TV. We bring the GameCube to school, play some Smash. And I would, I'd go for the heavy hitters like Marth, where you're crazy, just big, wide reach, because I wasn't very good. But I never really figured out how to get back on the stage until I realized that Pikachu, that electric mouse thing, he can glitch through reality and just get right back up on the stage. And then from there, I grew my skill set. So I challenge any of you to meet me in the Thunderdome, and we're gonna have a good time.
Buy a Switch, I'm down.
I will absolutely destroy you.
Yeah, I know, but let me live.
No, yeah, Jordan. How about you?
We're gonna save Nathan for last because he's an enigma.
I had 3 that I've played. I played with Marth. Zelda, whatever her dark version is.
Sheik.
I played with her, and then obviously
Country
Dark Link.
man.
Bro,
It's a
I was
free
playing Darth
country
Link, man.
Dark Link's my main. Oh, I know what you're talking about, Matt. I don't want to talk. I don't want to go there. Can't drop any
free
names.
country.
I'm still mad about it.
I hated facing you.
Country.
I hated playing you as you were a very formidable. Everyone here is a very formidable opponent with their mains.
Stop being nice. Stop. No,
Stop.
No,
No, we're all very
you
good
were
players.
Beyond. Look at the chalkboard, man.
I
had,
have
maybe
pictures if we want to share. I will post it.
No.
No, no.
I'm okay with it.
Brad, how about you?
So I just want to start off with a full disclaimer. I'm probably the most mid Smash Bros player out of all of us. I think I was okay. I evaded quite a bit, but I could never close out a game. I think I was in dead last for wins. But that being said,
know.
my
I don't
main
think so.
character is Lucas, the little blonde haired boy, and he was
Nightmares.
what's up?
Loved electrocuting him.
I have nightmares about that fire.
PK Fire and
Yeah.
Stupid stick.
Yeah, that fucking stick.
It hits you
man.
on the backswing too.
Yeah, I always
Annoying
hated
as hell.
that.
I
Because
got
you
caught by
dodge
that so
and then
much.
get smacked in the backswing. Follow through,
Yep.
man.
But yeah, so that's where I'm at. So now I guess we can get to Nathan, or we can skip him altogether because honestly,
I'll
screw that guy.
What's your character? All of them.
Who's your main? Yes. No, you guys know I primarily played. I loved playing as Ike. Hiya! But no, that's more.
Not a fan of him.
That's Pitt. But I love playing as Ike. I also love playing as Ness. And my most memeable was Mr. Game & Watch. Michael was a big fan of him. Loved flipping his sausages
The
or
man
pancakes,
is
whatever they are.
untouchable. He literally is like he's in the second dimension, but he's behind the stage, so he can hit you, but you can't hit him. And then he flips you in the pan and beats you to death with a frying pan in front of
Michael, he's not real. Michael, he's not real. He can't get you.
I see him in he's my sleep paralysis demon.
Give him the chair!
Sure.
He's right behind me, isn't he?
No, but like these guys said, I don't like to toot my own horn, but let's just say I could beat them with Jigglypuff at times. It just depends.
That stupid ass roll move, and you can put you to sleep.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
pretty OP.
I miss that. I miss that a lot. I miss playing Smash with you guys. I looked at a picture the other day. It was like our last night. It was after graduation. And I think it was a picture someone took of us just playing Smash. I was like, oh, the Last Supper. But
It was a great night.
that was a really fun night.
It was a great night. Minus the nicotine poisoning for me, but everything else was fantastic.
We got on the roof.
What's
and
that
that's
sound?
Every
Shout out to him, for real.
podcast.
Let's not
No,
incriminate.
faulty security. Faulty security. That's the story we're going with.
I agree.
Faulty security.
Well,
Hey, man.
Matt, I know in a week or so, I was going to transition here to everyone's kind of, if we have one. If you don't, that's no problem. I know Matt is super pumped for a game that comes out in about 7-8 days, I believe.
It'll be a week from tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out how to get that deluxe edition.
What's that
I
game?
think I kind of snoozed on it, which is unfortunate. But so the Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga.
Oh yeah.
It comes out a week from Tuesday.
I heard about that the other day.
That's going to be
I'm a
awesome.
so it's been delayed a bunch. I don't know. They really haven't done a good job of hyping it up recently.
No, they have not.
But they just
The marketing's
released.
bad.
They just released some gameplay and it looks sweet. They've spent a lot of time like trying to make it, I think, for everybody. So basically, as long as you're 10 years old, you could pick it up and enjoy yourself. And if you're 25 like me, you could be like very nostalgic and also treat it as a pretty cool open world game. That's why I'm excited about it, is because the way they have it laid out is that I think it's like 9 planets a trilogy, I want to say.
Yeah.
So, like, there are going to be 27 planets total, and they're going to be, like, your movie. Like, so you'll have missions within a movie, and then there's going to be a bunch of, like, bounty hunter missions you can do, and over 380 characters, and there's just going to be a lot to do, and I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, so, like, I'm going to want to, like, do it all and see. I mean, it could suck. That could be a possibility.
No,
It looks good. They're always
could.
good.
It will not. That's
I
the
don't think it's
reason.
going to. I'm saying, like, I'm excited, and I don't want to say this is going to be awesome, and then
It's going to be
like, so
awesome.
I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be pretty sweet.
The only
for somebody
thing
especially
that-
like myself.
The only reason it wouldn't be is if it was like buggy, but that's the reason with these game delays is
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's going to be
this-
pretty sweet.
that's always been my kind of stance on game delays. I'm like, I big appreciation for all the devs on every single game that I play or I'm a big fan of. Like, take all the time you need, like make it right, and it'll come when it's ready. And I'm super pumped for that. I know, like, I remember we first heard about it, like, it feels like 2 years ago. And like you mentioned, I'm really excited to kind of explore the whole open world format, because I know they've talked about it. I don't know if they've, like, released full details, but, like, basically how you can jump from world to world, like, story to story. And, like, it's not just, I'm a big fan of linear games, but with this, you can do your missions, but then you can also explore Lego Star Wars. And I think that's awesome. And I know I've been a big fan of those games since the first one came out. I think I played on GameCube.
Yes.
So-
Yes, dude.
That's
Fucking
taking us
woke up
back.
before school to play that shit. Amazing. Amazing. Here's a question, and people might not remember this. So, Nathan, did you unlock? So the original game was episodes 1, 2, and 3, and if you completed
The original
all the
trilogy?
missions, no.
Oh, the prequels.
Yeah, so the first Lego Star Wars
Yeah,
game to
yeah.
ever come out
Yeah.
was episode 1, 2, and 3, and there was like a secret door that you couldn't get in unless you got like basically I think 100% or like there's a way, like if you get so many coins, like called I think True Jedi or whatever.
Yep.
But so like if you got that on
all
every
the
single
coins.
level in the first 3 movies, then you unlocked like A New Hope, I think.
I never did. I never knew that.
Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, it was like a big thing. I never did it.
That's really cool.
especially because it took like a year, not even after the original game was released, that they released the second game, which had episodes 4, 5, and 6 in it. So there was really no reason after a certain point to try and get it. Especially because I wasn't that good at it. But yeah.
And to your point, I think it's going to be really cool just because most of all of us are almost like massive Star Wars fans, if not just, mild enjoyer, people who enjoy them. It'll be really cool just to kind of, play through the movies. I think that's kind of what I'm most excited about.
Wait.
Yeah.
Can't
it's going
wait.
to be really cool.
Can't wait.
Either that comes off first, or I buy Elden Ring first. I haven't decided which one I'm waiting for.
Ooh.
I know. I really want to play, but the last Dark Souls game I played, I didn't have a good experience. Yeah, I died a lot.
That is the summary of that game. Is that, Jordan, do you think that's your most anticipated game for this year? Is Lego Star Wars, or...
It was last year for sure, because I remember getting really hyped about it, then I kind of forgot about it when they pushed it back.
Yeah.
One game I'm really interested in this year is I think it's going to be either linear or open world, obviously, but I think it's going to be open world, and it's going to be a Harry Potter game.
Yes, the Legacy of Hogwarts, I think it's called.
Yeah,
That looks pretty sweet.
I'm excited for that one. I've always wanted a good Harry Potter game.
Right? It's like some of these. I think that's a really cool IP to tap into as a game, and it looks like they're doing a really good job of it. And it does. I believe they confirmed it for this fall or late 2022.
Yeah.
So that one does look really good.
I hope it's not based off a Harry Potter story, right? It's based off you're going through Hogwarts. It's your kind of story.
I think it's I think the premise is you're a 4th or 5th year, something like that, and you go back to school, and yeah. So I don't know the full details, but the gameplay looked pretty wicked. Wingardium Leviosa, whatever. But I love saying
pretty wizard.
Nice.
Let's cross that over.
Yeah,
I know Nathan knows what I'm talking about.
I'm just kidding.
What is that from? Because that sounds very familiar. I've heard that the other day.
Star Wars, so it's okay. Anakin says it in episode 1, and they just brought it back in the last season of The Mandalorian.
I was gonna say Mando says it.
Yeah, he says it, or not the Book of Boba Fett. I'm sorry, when he gets his new cruiser, he's like wizard.
Yeah.
Tried to incorporate it into my daily life, but it really doesn't work. So
yeah. Brad, do you have a game you're looking forward to this year, or looking forward to an extension of any game or any ongoing game, really?
Rocket League.
Yeah,
sorry. I'll say that earlier.
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely prefer online games.
Right.
Just being able to play with my friends and kind of have that. I don't like to feel alone in a game, which is
that's fine.
A weird thing. It's kind of stressful, but the one game that I do like to play on my own and I can play forever. I played it since I was little. Is any Pokemon game.
Oh, and, yes.
I played Arceus this year. I'm still playing it. I think I have 90 hours on it right now. So working on that, trying to get that 100% completed. But I am looking forward to the new gen that's coming out.
Is it this year that it's coming out?
I believe so. Yeah, at the end of the year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm hoping what they do, because I did really like Arceus, is I'm hoping that they take some pieces from that and pieces from the original games and everything, and kind of mold that together to be the open world, but also a traditional fighting style and everything. So I think I'm excited for that, see what they do, because it does feel like they are kind of moving in a different direction and really finally starting to do something new, as opposed to year after year them just kind of changing up the skins and the textures of the world and everything. It's not as much as a cash cow.
Right.
So.
Well, then
I hope they
sorry, no, Jordan, you're good.
I hope they I heard a rumor, I don't know if it's true, because I think I was talking to my boss about it, but they're going to have the same map, but it's going to be the updated version, it's more modern. It's not back in the past.
Oh.
I was really hoping they could do something like that, if not with this game, with another game where it's a modern Pokemon open world game, because I liked Arceus a lot. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Brad, I wanted to ask you specifically. So with every, I know you love Pokemon. With every game that comes out, do you kind of stick to, like you got your starters, fire, help me out here, water, and then what's the last
grass.
one? Grass, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have like one that you always stick to, or does it always change for you?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of it. Always changes.
Okay.
I feel like most of the time it ends up being fire or water, but
Nice.
like it really depends on like the generation. Like you can't go wrong with any of them in the first. Like
you
Charmander, Squirtle, or Bulbasaur.
The goats.
And then like
OGs.
I don't know, but for the most part it's fire or water.
Nice.
There you go.
So
Michael, do you have a game or something that you're really
I do
looking
have a
forward to?
game.
Let's hear
I
it.
do, and you know what this is.
Yes, I think I do know.
I think you know. So yeah, like I said, not the biggest gamer, and plus my PC, it's dated, so it can't.
That's okay.
It can't run Cyberpunk. So some of the newer games
Okay.
definitely can't run. But anyway, it's called Stray.
Yes.
It's about a cat.
Tell us about
you play
that.
as a cat. It's really interesting concept. I like some of that weird. I don't know, it kind of puzzle game stuff like that. There's another one called Silt, I believe, and it's just the art style is beautiful. But Stray is your cat, and you're running around this city, and it kind of looks like maybe like a Tokyo. I don't know. It's kind of cyberpunk.
It's like a dystopian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all the people that you interact with are robots. And your goal is to find out what happened to all the humans, because there's a clear message of like something happened and all these robots are doing the people's jobs and we don't know where the people are. And it's not like the robots, you have to like avoid them, you have to like interact with them. But yeah, you're just a stray cat, and it looks pretty cool. I don't know.
No, I remember we talked about this, and that's kind of like one of my more like low key, really like most excited games, because I believe I could be wrong. I believe it's by an indie developer, so it's like a smaller scale game. But I think it's going to be really cool and like a really interesting world to really explore, and just kind of explore it as a cat, like a dystopian cyber future where like it's just these robots and you're a cat, and I don't know. It just sounds really cool, and
I mean,
different.
It's different.
We need
it's
that.
Nice to, I mean. Yeah, it's not and not knocking any of the other game franchises that are huge, and it's every year, every couple years, it's a new updated version. I hate to come back to COD, but like every couple years, there's a new version, and everyone puts a ton of work into that.
They do.
But it's just something different, something you wouldn't think about. I admire the creativity, so I figured I think that'll run on my computer too. So I'm gonna play it. It'll be cool.
Well, that's awesome.
And because cats.
I know me personally, I love online games, but my main passions was single player. Unlike Brad, I do enjoy just being alone in my game, exploring, whether it be open world or like a linear story. Those are my absolute favorites. They've always been my favorites since I was a kid. And for this year, probably the most anticipated game moving forward, it's between God of War Ragnarok, which is just a sequel to 2018's God of War. Pretty much the climax for Kratos and Atreus. And Ragnarok is here. So Thor has arrived, or will arrive. And no, he is not like Chris Hemsworth. He's actually like big, meaty. Yeah, he looks like this just
big and meaty
tank of a guy that's gonna kick Kratos' butt at some point. Cool. But I'm really excited for that.
You're telling me that Kratos is not going to be a friend from work?
No, because Kratos is, to put it nicely, not a friendly man.
I know.
But that's probably
he's a big guy, right? So he kind of, he's just not green.
He's a friend from work. I understood that reference. But for me, that's probably most anticipated. Crossing my fingers that it still releases this year. But for me, I think that's where I sit, and just because for my love of single player narrative driven games. But to kind of jump off of video games here for a moment, I apologize.
Name one sec, sorry.
Yeah, no,
I
go
forgot
ahead.
to tell you guys something earlier about Rocket League. I don't know if you guys know, but one of the reasons that this season kind of like tanked or like sucks a little bit, like with all the cartoon stuff, there's like no real new map or anything. They're currently switching from Unreal Engine 3 to Unreal Engine 5.
5. Oh,
That's why I said Rocket League 2 earlier.
oh,
They're
I did
actually
not know
making a
that.
big. I don't know what it changes, if it's gonna be like graphics or how fast it runs and all that. But that's probably one of the bigger things I'm excited for.
I did not know
Whenever
that.
that comes.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's just basically it's the updated engine that the game runs on, how they develop it, and how they update it and everything. So that's really cool. I did not know that. I'm actually. Do they have a date for that, or is it going to be like this whole season almost?
I'm not sure. I just know that they've started work on it.
Awesome. Well, that's really good to know, man. Can't wait to get Diamond again in that.
Okay, so I know that Nathan was about to move on, but do people want to hear Will Smith's apology? Because he just posted
I just saw
it.
that.
Yeah,
No?
why not?
Is it short?
I mean, yeah, I could just read it.
Alright.
Violence, or Brad, do you want to?
No, you got it.
Yeah, violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I would like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all the attendees, and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and the King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been otherwise a gorgeous journey for all of us. I am a work in progress. Sincerely, Will.
How old is he? He should.
Well over 50. Not well over. He's over 50.
Well, that's good, but I don't know.
I mean,
Good for him. It is what
I
it
guess
is.
that's cool.
Just-
It's just interesting.
It's
Wow,
just rich
I
people.
find that stuff fascinating.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's just so, like, that's so insincere, I think. Like it's like a cooked response that he might have not even written.
Welcome to celebrity life. You know.
I know. I'm just saying, it's just interesting. It's just interesting, that's all.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, jumping off to another TV series, I guess. It comes out this week. It's the latest in MCU shows. It is Moon Knight, starring Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke, I believe, and a few other really exciting cast members. But I just really wanted to talk to you guys about this because I know most of us all really enjoy the MCU, and I get a vibe that this is going to be pretty different and pretty fantastic. So what do you guys think? First, expectations or, your thoughts for the series.
This series is kind of supposed to bring in more supernatural threats, right? It's like werewolves, vampires, stuff like that. Or is that just a possibility?
It is. This series, I think, revolves more around that. I don't know, more insight, but I could definitely see that happening. Yeah.
Because
From-
I'd be
from
big
what
excited for that.
From what I've seen, I haven't gone into the comic book, all the comic books about Moon Knight, but I have seen that that is what a lot of his villains are. There's some vampires, werewolves, stuff like that. So that is kind of interesting. I had no idea that was introduced into the MCU, but definitely looks like it's going to take more of a supernatural
And get
path,
Blade in
which is kind of cool.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I just know I haven't read all the I think I've read one or two small comics about him. I'm nowhere near an expert on Moon Knight, but you've probably seen this panel. It's I need this canon in the MCU. It's it's Moon Knight. He's walking
I've
down
seen
some
this.
stairs and he's like, Dracula, where's my money, you douche, or something like that. And I'm just picturing Oscar Isaac's awesome in just about everything he does. So I think he's going to crush it. And I do think kind of the, like you said, supernatural kind of vibe and feel is going to be really cool and a whole new take. for the MCU. And I don't know this for sure, but I've read that like the show isn't at all connected, to the current timeline. I hope that's kind of true, because then, it can kind of do its own thing. And I've read that like this show doesn't have like that big cameo or like appearance. It's just Moon Knight doing his thing, and I'm super pumped for it. But
I'm super excited. I love the casting. Oscar Isaac is awesome. I love the whole concept of where it kind of starts off as like he's got the dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah.
I think that's cool, but then like to realize it's like not exactly. Like it that I'm very excited to see how he plays multiple different roles within the same body. I think that'll be pretty cool.
It's like that movie Split where he played. I forget who acted in that.
Yeah, I know the movie. Yeah.
I guess multiple personality is different than dissociative personality.
It's the same. From my understanding, I think it is the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just the new term. That's the new term for it, though. I think.
Well, I'm talking about in like an acting standpoint. I feel like that'd be.
You're talking about James McAvoy. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. It sounds like it'd be pretty darn difficult to pull off as an actor. So if he can do it, then it's going to make the show that much better.
I mean, and not to mention the character design is so badass.
Oh,
he looks so cool.
that costume.
Dude, I saw that new clip where he like comes out and he takes like one moon and then he takes another one as like two weapons. I didn't know that he could do that. That looked fucking sweet. Sorry, Nathan, I interrupted you. Continue.
I did said nothing. I just said his costumes kick ass. They nailed it. So it looks awesome.
Super cool.
Super cool. Yeah. Well, we can move on to our mini game here. Like last week, if our viewers, all 10 of them, remember our mini game we did.
You should just double that number every time you say it.
Just progressively every 2 weeks. We did Would You Rather, and if any of you were stuck around that long, they probably got a good kick out of Michael's Would You Rather surprise. We will not talk about that, but
It was PG-13.
we've decided to do just a mini game every episode, and this week
Would You Rather is coming back. Don't you worry.
And this week, I believe kind of Matt and Brad kind of took control of this, and they wanted to share kind of their game for this week.
Matt, you got it.
Okay, so I guess we're so are we, is it just any of them? So the Would You Rather, so like song, album, are we just doing all of them?
No. So
Okay.
it's
Oh, like, so you just want me to pick?
no, we're doing like the discovery of like, an album basically.
Okay, right, so new stuff. All right, sorry. There's a couple different things on the notes. Sorry to everybody at home. I was looking at our show notes. Okay. So the mini game this week is so we're picking like a new album or I guess work of art or song that came out recently that you enjoy that people might not have heard of. And so I guess I can start. So I think everybody knows about Machine Gun Kelly, so I'll skip that. He came out with an album last week. Another group that I really like, so they're called Wallows, and they came out with an entire album last week. It was really, really good. Their music's pretty sweet. If you've watched the show 13 Reasons Why, Clay
That's a
from
throwback.
13 Reasons Why is their lead guitarist and singer.
No kidding. Oh.
Yeah, they're really, really good. That actually, so him being in that kind of hampered the band's growth, I think, because they had been making music before then, and then he got that, and he's been acting his entire life, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But so they formed.
He's a very good actor.
It doesn't say. But yeah, they're 2019. So yeah, right around the time that happened. But he's really good. He's their lead singer. All their music slaps. They can go like really hard with the guitar, or it can be slower. Yeah, so that's mine, I guess.
Dope. What about you, Brad?
Yeah. So this is actually the album that I kind of went through. I explored it earlier this week per request of one of my friends, and I'm a big 21 Pilots fan. We went and saw 21 Pilots in Columbus late last year, and their opener was their name was Half Alive. So I loved like they did such a good job live. I just never checked them out, so I figured I would go back and take a listen at one of their albums, and it's called Now Not Yet. And I just, there's a couple of tracks that really stuck out to me. Still Feel is like, I mean, when I listen to that, I listen to it like like I just put it on repeat.
I love that.
It's very, very funky, but they're kind of like indie alt kind of, and it's pretty cool.
What was it called? Sorry, I didn't write it down.
Michael.
Well, I did not really look into too many albums. I took the approach of I'm going to go on my Discover Weekly on Spotify and just listen to them and see what I like.
Yeah, song album, you know.
Yeah, 90% of the time, I don't know, I'm all over the place with music that I listen to throughout the week. But a couple songs I liked. The one it's called Jarman in the Dark by the Young Monks off the album, or it might be a single actually, Jarman in the Dark. Anyway, I kind of looked into them a little bit. They give me like a getting ready for summer, kind of reggae-ish, like Dirty Heads vibe a little bit. Real interesting. Definitely a song you could listen to on a road trip, or like chilling at the beach, or chilling at a pool, or by some body of water. I don't know what you do. Yeah, it was really, really cool. It was definitely one of those songs where like you know, like when you're listening to music and then it just hits you at that one moment and you're like, yeah, I like this. That's how I felt. So highly recommend. And the band members, it's 5 dudes. They look pretty cool. So I was like, oh, there's 5 of them, and there's just like us, there's 5 of us.
Aww.
So like, oh,
I can definitely get behind a group of 5 dudes.
And we're all extremely musically talented too. So
yeah,
totally.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
I am not, but yes.
exactly.
But yeah, highly recommend. Go look them up. They're cool.
Dope.
Who's next?
Jordan, what about you?
Mine's not very. The one I chose wasn't very current, but it's one that I don't think a lot of people listen to, and I think some people might like. It's Matchbox 20. They don't have too many songs, but I grew up on them, so I've always loved them. I mean, they're kind of just like I wouldn't call them a boy band, but like typical pop music. But I don't know how to describe Matchbox 20 to anybody.
Just some dudes rocking out.
Chiller 21 Pilots, I don't know. Like, if you want to just look up some new cool music, look them up. That'd be my recommendation. Not everyone loves them, but I do.
Sweet. Yeah. Mine is, I mean, I should have discovered and went a little bit more deeper into like my discovery playlist, but I just kind of settled on an album I already kind of liked, but I don't know how many people knew about him. It's an artist by the name of Louis the Child. Big like dance and techno type of music, and just one of my favorite albums of his is Here for Now, and just a lot of feel good songs. And if you're ever in that type of mood, you know, dancing, singing, driving, cruising, preferably in the summertime, it's a great listen. But
that was actually my second choice. That's
really
funny. Yeah,
it's just so
awesome.
vibey. Oh my god,
very. Yeah.
Gotta love me some vibey music.
I love you. I love all of you.
I love
you too.
But well, guys, this has been episode 2 of the Mobcast, and I hope everyone's had a great time as much as we have, and we really appreciate anyone tuning in here with us today. But we'll catch you on the next one here.
Hey, stick around at the end for an awesome, fun video.
And check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also our video format on YouTube. We appreciate anyone checking us out.
on Instagram because
Yes.
I get my personality and self-esteem from as many likes as possible.
For now, this is the mob checking out.
What's that sound? What's that sound? What's that sound?